We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Muki here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Can Summon Heroic Spirits. This is part 24. In the last part, Izuku has just started that of his internship with that of Lady Archer, aka Sakura Emiya. However, she also wanted to see Izuku on how he's able to summon heroic spirits from the Throne of Heroes, as to satisfy her own curiosity, but also to satisfy the curiosity and also the worries of the Mage Association alongside those on the clock tower, from that of Zelrich himself as well, with now Izuku arriving at that of Amana Spring, where there he now summons his two newest servants, one ruler class servant and one moon cancer servant, as the ruler being Himeko, the queen of Yatta, and BB, NPC turned heroic spirit. Let's see how much Izuku can grow and also how much his life is going to change quite a bit with these new heroic spirits by his side. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Stepping away from Izuku and his servants from that of his internship, we have that of Iida going through his internship with now his fully recovered brother, Tensei, currently working at that of the Ingenium Agency, currently in that of Central Tokyo, being Shibuya. Inside of the agency, Iida couldn't help but be surprised at the warm greeting that he was given by all of his brother's sidekicks, with all of them couldn't help but greet him in that of respect and excitement as well. Having the younger brother of their boss and possibly their future boss in the agency with them. Within, Tensei, also in his hero costume, white armor and whole, basically says, "Please everyone, I know you all have met Tenya before, but today he is working under me as that of a sidekick as well. This may be his internship, but let's show him on how the Iida 8 found out how that the Ingenium Agency truly shows itself." Within, all of their sidekicks saying, "Yes, sir." Within, Iida can't help but say, "This is amazing. I know I always come by to visit and check on you and how everybody else is doing, big brother, but it's a lot more different than usual." Within, Tensei couldn't help but laugh, within saying, "Well, yeah, you're seeing this place from that of the point of view of a pro instead of the usual civilian. We always wanted to make sure to keep you out of anything that's too dangerous. Until you can become a full-fledged pro, or at least get your provisional hero license, then I couldn't really tell you anything important, and I didn't want to do anything that would worry you." Within, hearing that, Iida couldn't help but smile, but then, looking back about his original plan, when he planned on going to Hosu, instead of going to that of his brother's agency, with then soon, Tensei, even though under the mask, he can tell that his younger brother is feeling somewhat saddened, within saying, "Tenya, you're still feeling responsible. How you planned on going out to Stain, right?" Within saying, It's that really easy, even behind the helmet. Saying, I know you, Tenya. You're my little brother after all. But then, Iida couldn't help but smile under his helmet, looking at his brother. But then saying, although we do have an important meeting that will be taking on that of an operation tomorrow night after all. So, I expect you... So right now, I'm going to get you at least caught up on that of the basics on what it being part of that of the Hero Agency, especially being part of the Ingenium Agency. After that, we're going to be going out on patrols. Best to keep everything and everyone safe after all. But then after saying that, Iida couldn't help but smile before saying, of course, big brother. Saying, While we're on patrols, you can't call me that of big brother or that of my first name, Tensei. You had to call me by that of my hero name, Ingenium. But then, hearing this saying, right, Ingenium. At least not right now, bro. As looking at both Tenya and Tensei, you could tell that the both of them are like night and day. With Tensei pretty strict too, but a lot more laid back. With Tensei being too damn strict and a stickler after all. Currently and also in Tokyo, currently at the agency of the number 4 pro of Japan, being Best Genius, who is also a UA alumni as well. And the person that basically decided to intern with him is, just like in canon, Bakugo. As Best Genius basically gives him the same spiel as he would in canon about how he doesn't like Bakugo, especially his attitude, especially on how he presents himself to the public. Especially during that at the sports festival, when during each and every one of the events, especially being broadcast all across that of the world, it made Best Genius send an offer to Bakugo mainly to curb his issues. However, little did Best Genius know that's easier said than done. Even Bakugo is getting annoyed at the fact that he only came to that of Genius's agency because he gave him an offer and only wanted to learn from the best and how to get even farther to the top. But Genius not really going to take Bakugo's personality and his threats all too easily, wrapping him up and showing him that he has a long way to go if he ever wants to reach the top 10 once he graduates UA. With Shoto, as he's also at that of Endeavor's agency as well. Within, Endeavor can help but say, so you decided to come to your senses, Shoto. Within saying, I haven't come to anything. I only came to you to learn on how to reach the number 2 spot. After that, I'll be my own hero. Within saying, you say that now, but while working with me, you'll learn the true path of the mighty and the strong. The mighty and the strong. As Shoto thinks this mentally, as he remembers back then, the true strength, the strength of Izuku working with that of Kotaro, and how they even became one, using that fusion magic craft. With saying, I've seen true strength, and your strength is meaningless. Within soon, Endeavor can help but say, what was that? Saying, it's not important. So, what will you teach me about being a pro here? Or are we just going to do the same old training like always? Within, Endeavor couldn't help but smirk, saying, well, you see, we have something planning in the future. Originally, I wouldn't even bother working with them, but I think it's best that we take care of this easily as well. And besides, I figured he would want revenge anyway. Within hearing that, Shoto could up and say, revenge. Away from Endeavor's agency, currently also in a Tokyo city, being that of Bakugo, where currently on the streets, being that of Izuku and Lady Archer, alongside that of her sidekicks that are also walking around as well. Within, soon, many of Izuku's servants are currently in spirit form, with then saying, so, your city is also in Tokyo as well? Saying, yeah, gotta get at least somewhat close, to be honest. Most villain attacks happen mainly in that of, cities after all. And there are tons in that of Tokyo. Especially in that of the central cities that basically bunch up all together after all. With, then, Izuku saying, figures. No wonder why Endeavor, All Might, and many of the other top 10 pros have their agencies in Tokyo instead of, well, anywhere else. I mean, the only one that's not in Tokyo is Hawks, after all. His agency is located on one of the main islands of Kyushu, within saying, hey, no need to mutter and no need to go into hero trivia, Midoriya. I know all this stuff too. It's like, oh, right, sorry. Within saying, at any rate, right now, I'm going to give you at least somewhat of a crash course on that of the hero on what the hero lifestyle is like. Normally, you would basically go through this in school, but I have a bad feeling like you're not going to be able to get this stuff soon after, or UA is basically holding back some information until you reach a certain age or until you at least make it to your second year or third year at UA. Unfortunately for them, that's kind of, it's normally right to do something like that, but given what has happened at UA what happened at UA the last time, I feel like it's best that you speed up that your hero education. Within hearing this, many of Izuku's servants want to speak up about this. However, they're in spirit form, and they can't really speak in public. Not to mention that, well, Izuku's servants got more, popular than that of him even in the sports festival after all. Especially servants like that of Kotaro and Nightingale, alongside that of, Odysseus. Even though Odysseus was only appeared like that for a split second. However, Izuku did get a lot of attention as well. When you're able to beat that of the son of the number 2 hero, it does end up sticking with you. As they continued walking, within soon, Sakura stopped within saying, "We're here." Within soon arriving, seeing that of her agency, within saying, "Wait, this is your agency?" Within saying, "Yep." Saying, "Are you sure this is your agency? Hey, you calling me a liar, Midoriya?" Within Izuku saying, "That's not what I meant. I meant..." I know, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, unlike normal agencies that basically go with that of a big building or basically a building with that of trying to show their status, I may be somebody who's always on the edge of becoming part of the top 10, but I always prefer an agency that's a lot more modest and doesn't really scream, "I'm better than everybody else." Seeing that of the Emiya's, agency, as it's basically just a common variety apartment complex, actually, as it goes up to at least that of 5 floors. Then she's saying, "Now come on, we better get going." Within walking forward, as unlatching that of the gate, within several of her sidekicks also going through the gate too. As then Izuku walking through as well, suitcase and school bag in hand, as soon they reach that of the lobby floor, normally, basically the floor where that of, attendants go to the floor, walk up the floors, or at least go through the elevator. Instead of that, it being that of one, giant ass lobby room. Within, soon, Izuku couldn't help but be completely and utterly caught off guard as seeing that of tons of monitors, computers, couches, and everything. Within, seeing that of the staircase heading up to that of the other floors. With seeing tons of sidekicks basically walking around, possibly up to that of 50. Within saying, "Wait, but I thought you only have that of 5 sidekicks." Within saying, "Oh, right, I do actually. All these people are mages from that of the Mage Association, and mages all across Japan too, working to improve their magecraft. They only work here as more part-time to help out and improve their status in that of Mage Society." Within saying, "Wait, all of these are mages?" Within soon appearing out, being that of Scott Hatch, Sigurd, Himiko, and also BB as well. BB couldn't help but whistle, saying, "Look at all the tech here. Now this is something. Honestly, the set out and layout of this place reminds me a lot of Chaldea back in the day." As the Sakura look-alike servant couldn't help but they want to explore the place. Before then, soon, Nobunaga and also Odysseus basically stopped that at the Moon Cancer. Within, both of them giving that of the Moon Cancer servant that of a specific look As the look basically shows, if you try anything, we will kill you. But then soon she's saying, I'm just messing around, messing around. Don't need to put well, your Findoshi and basically non-existent underwear in a twist. With Odysseus basically rolling his eyes. However, Nobunaga is, as she's basically fuming, looking at that of, well, BB. But then soon, Sakura also couldn't help but smirk, saying, it's weird. But then, Izuku saying, what's weird? BB, that moon cancer. If I recall, moon cancers are basically one of the few servants that aren't supposed to be part of the throne of heroes, and yet, BB, a moon cancer, is here. Not only that, she looks exactly like that of my great-great-great-grandmother, Sakura Matoi, with then, soon, Sigurd can help but say, you're not too wrong after all. I don't know too much, especially when it came to that of the moon cell incident, but it was recorded through that of the Akashic records, and in return recorded through that of the Holy Grail. But it said that, again, she was originally supposed to be nothing but what people in video games call an NPC, a non-player character. If I also, within, Scott had saying, that's saying it lightly, I was also part of the Moon Cell Holy Grail Wars as well, even though it reached its end at certain points. But all the same, BB was originally supposed to be an NPC that helped out that of the Masters through that of the virtual Holy Grail War. But just as her legend says, she became attracted to one certain master. This master, she basically became obsessed with him to the point that she would do anything for them. I can't remember their name or that of their gender. Let's just say they made so much an impact on her that that of her inner coding basically got corrupted. And soon was that virus basically corrupted her to the point that she became that of a moon cancer. And then the virus began to affect that of the Holy Grail, in which in turn affected the throne of heroes, creating that of the moon cancer. But there was secretly that the moon cancer servant class was always part of the Holy Grail and the throne of heroes. It just needed somebody to fully realize it. BB is quite wicked and twisted. She only takes enjoyment out of making things fun for her. If you do try and trust her, Master, make sure to put her on that of a huge leash. It'd be best to use one of your command seals to make her absolutely loyal to you. Within, Izuku saying, you know I don't like using my command seals. Even if I know that after I use them, I can my command seals basically regenerate after a good day rester and all that. But even so, I refuse to use them to take away you guys' will. You know this, Scott Hatch, saying, sometimes, Master, you need to put aside your honor to do the right thing for everybody. As she looks at Izuku with that of a stern look. However, Izuku still having his own stern look and his look of conviction as well. Before she couldn't, as then the queen of the land of shadows couldn't help but smirk before saying, but it wouldn't be you if you did give up on your convictions so easily. You also wouldn't be one of the few men who I loved as well. With then after saying that, Izuku saying, what was that, Scott Hatch? With then saying, nothing that needs importance. With then soon looking back at that of the Emiya mage, with then saying, so, what do you need to tell that of our master? With then soon bringing back that of BB, with Nobunaga and Odysseus coming over too. With then saying, right. Like I said, I'm going to give him that of a refresher and that of a crash course on what to be expected once he goes pro after all. Normally, UA and many other schools would basically tell kids this like during their second or third years, or possibly even later on in the year as well. But right now, I think it's best if he gets this stuff early on instead of later. Come on. We'll head to my office. Then after that, I can also teach you on how to use that of my tracing magic craft. Within hearing this, Izuku can't help but get even more excited. However, as soon as he gets excited, his excitement is basically faded away before it turns into that of a huge red face, as Himiko's basically clinging onto that of his right arm, saying, "Let's go, dear." Within soon, he's just saying, "Oh, dear." With then, Scott Hatch couldn't help but get annoyed at that of Himiko. Within soon, Sigurd, adjusting his glasses, within couldn't help but say, Lady Himiko, we never got a chance to ask this, even on the way here. Why do you call Izuku dear, for example? Within, after asking this while walking up the stairs, within, soon, Sakura also wanting to hear this as well, with no form of shame, saying, "Well, of course I would call him dear. He was my destined one, just as it was foretold through one of my, premonitions after all." Within, soon, Nobunaga saying, I know about your premonitions. You're able to basically see into the future. Your divinations basically are given to you by that of the goddess of the sun, Amaterasu herself, if I recall. Hell, there are even legends saying that you're also her avatar, just like that of Toma no Mai. Himiko couldn't help but also smile as she still continues to cling on to that of Izuku, saying, "I'm nothing like that of Lady Amaterasu. Far from it. It is true that she does speak through me from time to time, especially during certain divinations. But other than that, no, I am not the sun goddess herself. As for one of my premonitions, it said that nearing the end of my life, I would end up finding my destined one. I wouldn't be able to meet him physically with my full body with that of my body, but my consciousness, half of my soul, would be able to reincarnate through that of the throne of heroes, summoned by a master who would need my aid. But at first, I thought that was Ritsuka." Within, soon, a few of the servants couldn't help but widen their eyes before realizing that's why she always was so clingy to him. Within, Nobunaga couldn't help but mentally deadpan, saying, if we knew this ahead of time, a lot of arguments between her and Kiaiheim would have been avoided years ago. Within, soon, Himiko couldn't help but continue saying, "But I realized something. Master Ritsuka was not my destined one. If anything, he was connected to my destined one. I realized this. It was nearing one of the end of the fourth lost belt when I tried to get really close to him, and yet I didn't feel. Even though I tried to fall in love with him, my heart wasn't truly into it. Even though my premonitions are never truly wrong, until I realized it didn't say that it had to be one master. It had to be a master that would be able to summon me in the future." Within, soon, Odysseus can help but speak up, saying, "That would make a lot of sense. Heroic spirits are basically summoned throughout history, time, and space. It could have been Master Ritsuka, or it could have been somebody connected to Master Ritsuka. When it comes to the infinite worlds created by that of the goddess of the earth itself, Alaya, who knows on how many times we have all been summoned, even outside of Chaldea summoning us themselves." Within, many of the servants couldn't help but agree at that. With even Izuku couldn't help but think that maybe, is he truly the only one? I mean, they talk about his ancestor, Ritsuka Fujimaru, all the time. But what if there's one world where they never really ended their contract with him? What if one world that he meets him, maybe in a version of him that's not even truly, good after all? That's what actually kind of scares him the most, to be honest. Within, soon, noticing the nervousness As then Medusa basically materializes right next to Izuku, as she basically, while still walking upstairs, grabs onto Izuku as well, as she basically saying, "Do not worry, Master. You have nothing to worry about. Such thoughts are basically meaningless. What you are thinking of would never happen at all. We have all met your master, and to be honest, you are somewhat of a spitting image of him, to be fair." Within, soon hearing that, Himiko can help but say, "That's all wise of you, Medusa. I expect nothing less from also a girl who also loved the master as well. And seeing that you also fallen in love with that of my destined one too." Within, soon, Medusa actually begins to blush within saying, "Preposterous. I am only doing my duty as that of a servant. Nothing more, nothing less." Within, soon, Himiko, not really phased. However, Scott Hedge, on the other hand, couldn't help but mentally slap herself, thinking that Medusa is basically took one step back at the sports festival admitting her feelings for that of Izuku, now taking that 3 steps back from it. However, then she couldn't help but blame her, but still, it is quite annoying. But then soon, Himiko continues saying, "But all the same, I knew that it was connected to that of Master Ritsuka. So I thought, maybe, just maybe, that connection was due to my future master, the one who I would see as the one I would fall in truly in love with, would be possibly his descendants. A descendant that would summon me in the future and would need me. So, when I answered the call once again, and it turns out I was right. It was truly you, Izuku, and not only that, I could feel it. I could feel the connection between us, not just because of the command seals or the servant master pack, but a bond and a feeling that can never be replaced. That being truly love." Within, laying her head on Izuku's shoulder, with Izuku still basically going completely beet red. Within, soon, Medusa also getting annoyed at all of this. As then, Sakura can help but say, "Who knew that kids like this would basically have all the romance? Reminds me about that of my great-great-grandfather, the original Shiro Emiya." Within, soon, many of the servants who know about that of Shiro Emiya, all of them couldn't help but say, "You have no goddamn idea, girl." Especially Medusa, as she also still has the memories of her rider self during that of the 5th Holy Grail War, after all. Arriving at that of the 5th floor, being that of Sakura's office, as having that of multiple windows on that of the side, with even that however, in the back being that of one large screen TV, and in the center being that of a desk, with also that of multiple couches and chairs as well. Even within saying, the first floor, which you saw, is that of the full, optimization room. We also have that of 2 lower floors as well. The first being that of the mage rooms and that of the testing rooms. The other floors are that of, meeting rooms, alongside that of the training room too, which is the entire 3rd floor. And on the 4th floor, we have that of the living quarters. Over that of, 50 rooms, basically stocked kitchens, bedrooms, and baths as well. Sometimes we have to make sure that the mages that come here to try and improve their skills and their standing in that of the association need at least a place to stay for the time being. Hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but be impressed quite a bit, with then heading to her desk, pulling out the chair, with then saying, "Please, all of you, take a seat." With then taking that of a seat, before then looking at that of her computer and seeing one of a message that's already been sent a little while ago, as it being from one of the associates from that of the Mage Association. As it reads, "The Prime Minister has gotten that of the Public Safety Commission off the boy's back. You're free to do what you need to do." Seeing the message, she can up and say, "Well, good news. we have now gotten rid of that of the HPSC off your back. Within hearing this, Izuku can help but smirk in that of happiness, saying, "Oh, thank God. So, no more assassinations or basically scandalized attempts on me and my life?" Within saying, "Nope." With soon, Kotaro can help but say, "That's good and great and all, but now what about within soon?" Within having that of a link between that of Kotaro and Queen and Sheba, within the Queen of Sheba can help but say, "Don't say anything, Kotaro." With it saying, "But we need to tell. Look, Nagant is basically sided with us. She'll basically do whatever it needs to do to take care of the HPSC. All we need to do is make sure that the HPSC doesn't bother capturing her again. With her on our side, we can basically have that of the information to scandalize them, show their corruptness and dirtiness as well. Now that we have BB, if she is going to play nice as she said she did when summoned, then maybe she'll be a perfect asset on putting that corrupt government agency into the ground once and for all." Within hearing that, Kotaro couldn't help but mentally nod, saying, "I trust your judgment. But if this hurts Izuku," saying, "I would never do that to our beloved master. You know that better than anybody, Kotaro." As Kotaro having that kind of annoyed look through that of his one good eye through his bangs. Within soon, Izuku saying, "Kotaro, you okay?" Saying, "Fine, master. Sorry if I worried you." "It's nothing." Within taking a seat, as then soon, Sakura spoken up once more, saying, "Well, speaking up first, like I said, I'm giving you that of a crash course on that of on what the life of being a hero would be like before we start your training into that of tracing magic craft. First off, once you become a pro, you would be connected to that of the hero network." Within saying, "Hero network? It's nothing like that of the hero fan networks that you and many other civilians have. The hero network is basically an underground net where pro heroes can basically connect with one another, giving advice and tips on that of cases that they're working on with that of the police or working on by themselves. Once you normally, once again, UA would probably tell you this themselves, probably during that of your second year or third year. But right now, I think it's best if I tell you this now, because you'll possibly be able to gain information on that of certain villains that you need to worry about after all, such as the League of Villains." Within hearing this, Izuku saying, "There's still basically a small-time group that basically got lucky to sneak into that of UA after all. So they're not really on anybody's radar. Heck, they're not even in importance than unlike that of certain other criminal groups after all. However, I don't think that's the case, to be fair. You don't just sneak into that of one of the most well-defended and one of the most popular hero schools in all of Japan. That happens either because they have that of a spy. Within, many of the servants basically perk up, with even Izuku couldn't help but basically have his eyes widen, or you have or you're basically that good at timing and a quirk that can basically get past, or already having that of photographic knowledge of the location beforehand. With then, soon hearing this, Izuku saying, You really think there's a traitor?" Within, Sakura couldn't help but put her hands together in front of her face while having her elbows over that of her desk. Within, having that of a serious look at Izuku, saying, "If you really think that the villains like them were able to get into UA so easily by luck alone and without any inside help, then you're truly naive than I thought, Midoriya." Within, Izuku looking down a bit, saying, "I just didn't think a hero, or even anybody from your own class would betray you." Within, soon, Sigurd, adjusting his glasses before looking at Izuku, saying, "Izuku, a few of us have also realized this as well. We also realize that there's also a traitor within UA. possibly inside of Class 1A as well. Within Izuku saying, guys, you can't be. Within Scott saying, Izuku, you're still naive about how the world truly works. Humans as a species are fickle, complex, and quite, well, manipulative of a species, to be honest. Who knows on what the traitor did, what the League of Villains had to do to make somebody become a traitor within UA? A teacher? Students? Who could say? Within Nobunaga speaking up saying, I can. I've basically dealt with too many rebellions and basically people trying to kill me so many times. It's kind of annoying, to be fair. As she having that of sullen looks on her face. Within, it almost looked distant as well. First rebellion was due to my little brother, Nobukatsu. Second was that of my my brother-in-law, Nagamasa. Then one of my most trusted lieutenants, Hideyoshi. And then, last but not least, the one that would end up ending my life. As legends say, Mitsuhide. Many of them have their reasons on why they betrayed me. My brother betrayed me, believing that I was taking the Oda clan to that of a doomed path, even to the point that he even collected that of those of the Oda who were willing to take my head, all because they didn't see me as a proper leader. Nagamasa believed that the actions I was taking across the land was basically was turning me into a demon, a monster, which would be that of my Demon King persona, after all, which, in fact, is somewhat accurate, but not accurate at the same time. So I had to end his life. The other two, the first one basically hated the fact that I was basically using him as no other pawn in my army, while the other, he will always be the biggest mystery. Somebody as loyal as Mitsuhide Akuji would betray me just like that. It's just hard to tell, that's all. Within saying that, she looks back at that of her little brother figure saying, all I'm saying, Izu, is that nobody in this world is pure as they think that they are. With then, soon, Izuku looking down. But then, Sakura continues saying, all the same, the League of Villains is still a problem. It also doesn't help that there's one villain that's starting to make that of an impression and importance into hero society now. I'm sure that you have been hearing about him all across the news, have you not, Midoriya? Within, soon, saying, yeah, oh, I know. You're talking about the hero killer. Within, she nodding, saying, exactly. The hero killer. A man who's basically gone from city to city all across Japan and is now, and he also took down that of Ingenium. Luckily, Ingenium was able to make a full recovery and is now back in business. But knowing the hero killer, he's not going to take that of his healing so easily after all. So, there's a chance he may go back after Ingenium, or possibly take down other so-called fake heroes, as I hear that he likes to call. Within, soon, Izuku saying, why are you saying this? Within, soon, removing that of her hands from her mouth before leaning back on her chair, as then typing a few keys on that of her computer, before then the large monitor behind her begins to glow, as then soon showing this of a team-up request. Within, looking at the team-up request, Izuku saying, wait, that can't be, saying, yes, it is. This is a team-up request from that of Ingenium himself. He's asking Endeavor, and even that of Best Genus, the best agencies, Tokyo agencies here, even that of agencies and that of Hosu, to help us out as well to take down Stain once and for all. He may be one man, but he has caused quite a bit of a stir in hero society and even the public. Unless we take this man down, more pros will basically go cripple or be killed by his hands again. Within, Sued hearing this, Izuku saying, and when is this operation? Saying, tomorrow night. Within Izuku saying, tomorrow night? Within soon, a few of the servants couldn't help but glare at that of Sakura, but then saying, normally, even if we had you're interning with us, you would mainly be taking care of that of crowd control, keeping civilians away from that of the dangerous areas, and getting them to safety. And that's more important, right? Hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but sigh in that of relief. Before, even that of the servants couldn't help but sigh in relief. However, a few of his servants couldn't help but feel a little bit skeptic, thinking that there's going to be a but, as BB basically says what those servants are thinking before saying, what's the catch? There's always a catch when it comes to you mages after all. But then, Sakura couldn't help but smirks as looking at that of her ancestor look-alike, before then smiling, saying, I want Midoriya to take down the hero killer using you guys as well. Within Sue hearing this, all of them couldn't help but be shocked, even that of Izuku, as he couldn't help but scream out, what? Then she's saying, okay, a little bit loud. With then Nobunaga saying, out of the question, we are not letting Izuku. Within saying, don't worry, you're his servant. You'll have his back after all. There's nothing to worry about. Within soon, Sigurd saying, that's not the point. It's our duty to protect Izuku. You want him to go in deeper into that of the fray, in the battle of the fray? Why? Within soon, she's saying, isn't it obvious? Not just to satisfy my own little curiosity on how you servants truly fight. You only got a glimpse of it during that of the sports festival after all. When you and your little assassin class servant, Fuma Kotaro, fought against Todoroki, Endeavor's little brat. We even seen that of the writer Odysseus's noble phantasm. Which, unfortunately, in this day and age, even knowing your legends, it wouldn't do much against you after all. The only way for you to basically go against your legends is that we had our own servants to do so. So, to be honest, it'd basically be pointless to try and take down those weaknesses. I mean, we could, but it would be easier said than done, especially in this day and age. This is basically just to show on how loyal you are to Izuku Midoriya. And since we're already aware on the kind of person that he is, a boy not willing to basically cause any trouble, I kind of figured that showing your heroicness while also showing on how loyal your heroic spirits are is the best way to basically put the Maids Association, and even those at the clock towers, at ease. Why not you say, Midoriya? With then hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but look side to side at all of his servants, the ones who were close and loyal to him. Within soon, he couldn't help but sigh, saying, I'm not a big fan of basically being used and having to prove myself to people that I'm not a threat. But to be honest, I'm not too surprised. First it was the HPSC, now it's the Mage Association. But something tells me that the Mage Association won't be taking no for an answer, even against that of the government. Am I right? Within saying, unfortunately no, kiddo. Within taking one deep sigh before saying, fine, I'll do it. Me and my servants will fight against Stain, but on one condition though. Within saying, name it. Only 2 of my servants will fight alongside me. I want the others to focus on that of crowd control alongside that of Todoroki and Iida as well, if they're going to be involved. And I even know that of Kachan as well, if Best Geniuses will be involved in this operation too. Within hearing this, she couldn't help but smile, saying, now that's what I like to hear. Now then, now that I got you at least out of a crash course on that of the Hero Network, let's get straight into that of mage training. Time to teach you the Emiya's magic craft, tracing magic craft. So, you're ready, Midoriya? Within hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but smirk before saying, yes ma'am, as the 2 mages from that of legendary families begin their training. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, sorry that this cut off on that of the best parts with Izuku basically learning that of tracing magic craft. Honestly, I'm not trying to make that a huge ass arc. I'll probably basically go through it pretty damn quickly in the next part. Just letting you guys know this now. Mainly because I want to get straight into that of the battle between that of Izuku and Stain. Also, thinking about what happened with Stain in the League of Villains, I'll probably get back to that in the next part. So be prepared for that. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos up on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. All yours, Shiro. Finish it off, my lady.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!